And we are back with another question. This is Mike Cernovich from Gorilla Mindset and DangerandPlay.com. By the way, I got some good video tips. I deleted your email on accident on optimizing YouTube. I definitely appreciate the criticism and critique on the videos. I know the quality isn't where it needs to be, but there's a reason for that. I don't know. I don't know if I'm going to keep doing YouTube. It's a 30-day experiment. Right now, I take one question, one take. I record it with my, webcam on my Mac. And I have the new MacBook 12-inch, so the webcam isn't even that high resolution. And it takes me 10 minutes to upload a video. So all in these don't take that much time. I'm not going to do the HD thing. I remember when I did that before, it would take like 4 fucking hours for the video to render. It's way too much time. YouTube has the lowest ROI of anything I could do. I'm a writer. I write. Who buys books? You do. Readers. Most of you watching this, probably everybody watching this, you're from Danger and Player Gorilla Mindset. People who watch YouTube don't buy books, right? So if you want to sell books, you write. Because people who read, 1,000, 2,000 word articles read books, right? If you want to sell audiobooks, you do a podcast. If you want to entertain people, you do YouTube. So this really is a low ROI activity for me. This is just more about like talking to you guys, right? Figuring out what you guys want to hear more of, and having a conversation. Now, if the YouTube channel takes off, I'll probably delete it because the fucking retards, man. The retards who post comments on YouTube channels, I want far away from here. So if I make it too glossy, I'll get fucking retards, and it won't move the needle. So the retards are going to come over, like let's say I get a lot of views. You know how much those guys make off just their ads on YouTube? Not very much. There's a guy has a pretty big fitness channel, Jason Blaha. He makes 35 or 40 grand a year on YouTube. That's it. And his videos get a lot of views. He's always creating drama. He treats it like a full-time job. I make more than that on affiliate income, So anyway, I appreciate the concern. But right now, no. So the next question is the inner judge. And I think it's kind of topical, right? That's why I led with that introduction. We always sort of tie things together. And a guy said he's a songwriter, and he feels like he's got this inner judge stopping him from doing content. And he says, well, you write a lot, and I do YouTube videos with give no fucks given, right? So how do you deal with the inner judge? Well, there's a lot going on here. There's a lot to unpack. One is that you don't have an inner judge. Were you born on a monastery in the mountains all by yourself, and you're raised by wolves, and you just sort of walked through the wilderness and reached all these conclusions about life? If you had, then you have an inner judge. The rest of us, we don't have inner judges, or at least we don't have one starting off. We have all that shit other people have told us, right? That's the inner judge. The inner judge, you don't have any sense of right or wrong or what is good or what is bad. You have what other people have told you all your life. House music. If you played that 50 years ago, people would say, what's this deep house? This is terrible, but I think it sounds great. So this inner judge is going to be part of the culture that you grew up in and where you lived. And you can see that in all kinds of different cultures. Some cultures celebrate individualism, some don't. One question a guy said was, why are most people who kind of do what I do, which is sort of self-development, why are we all in America? Because in America we do less now, but we do have a culture and a sense that if you really apply yourself and you try hard, you can improve and you can change your life. That is not universal. I'm in Paris right now, and the culture is so different. I'll probably write a longer article on it, but there are little things here. For example, I rented an Airbnb, and I booked 4 different places. Put the credit card down. Cash money in your pocket. Cancellation. Oh, that short notice. It was like 2 days from now. Short notice, I can't be there in 2 days, or short notice, no, I can't do it. Maybe if you give me a week notice. Just get the fuck out. What are you doing? I have money. Take it. No, short notice, because that's the mindset. There's not that hustle. Same thing with the gym. You know how hard it is to find a gym that you can just go to one time? or for 1 month. I went to multiple gyms my first day here. I was like, yeah, I got to, I haven't been lifting since I'm in Paris. I got to hit the gym. No, we don't do day passes. So what do you mean? Like, I have money. Take it. No. 6 months only. And that's kind of like a Paris thing. It's hard to find a place that you do a day pass. I had to hunt and finally found a place where I can join a gym for 3 months. And that's the mindset. So the inner judge of a Parisian is going to be different than the inner judge of an American. It's going to be different than the inner judge of a Vietnamese person or a Thai person or a Chinese person. So get that, just recognize right away, that isn't your inner judge. You didn't come up with that. Somebody else put that shit in your head, and that's the real judge. That's one thing to unpack. So who put those thoughts in your head? Remember that self-talk chapter in Gorilla Mindset? Where did you learn self-talk? You learned it from other people, how they talk to you, how they talk to each other. That's where the self-talk came. And in America, as much as we can be optimistic, we can also be kind of like drama queens. You fucked up big time now, mister. Come to the principal's office, boy. You definitely get punished more than you get rewarded, it seems. So that's where the inner judge comes. You're afraid to do anything because that's your culture, but that isn't you. So you have to ask yourself, is that your inner judge, or are you refraining from doing something because of the voices of other people? I even think I had a podcast. I called it something like the voices inside your head. And that's other people. That's the inner judge. So you really need to think, well, am I really judging my work based on my standards, or am I letting the opinions of other people affect them? And then the next point about that is the inner judge is you're just afraid. You're afraid to put your work out there and you get your fucking ass kicked. Because I can tell you right now, if you're a beginning songwriter, a beginning guitarist, a beginning celloist, a beginning martial artist, a beginning writer, you fucking suck. You suck big time. Whatever the inner judge is or whatever, it isn't good. But you have to work and you have to grind it out. I look back at some of the older stuff I wrote and I go, God, man, how did you even write that, man? How did you even do it? And what I write now, I'm actually proud of, but you got to get your ass kicked. And you will get your ass kicked. And that's why a lot of people don't go forward. They think, oh, well, this isn't a high enough standard. But how are you going to raise your standards if you don't do, right? Well, I can't write anything because I don't think my writing is that good. Okay, so then how's your writing get better? I was in the Impressionist Museum in Paris the other day, and Cézanne, he was told early, he's a big time writer now, you can Google him. A writer, I'm sorry, he's a big time painter, he's very well known. If you know anything about art, you know his name. But if you looked at his old paintings, he was told, yeah, this isn't good, this is grotesque. And if you look at him, you can see that even though he was visionary in his later work, his original stuff wasn't very good. Well, did he quit? Well, how are you going to become a better painter? Well, I can't paint like Cézanne today. Well, no fucking shit you can't. Maybe in 10 years, if you're lucky, you can almost paint like that. Maybe 20 or 30 years you can. It's the same with anything. You got to go get your ass kicked, but you're afraid to. You got to put your writing online, but you're afraid to. You got to show up in the gym, jiu-jitsu gym, and get fucking tapped out 100 times. You got to go to the gym when you're weak and curl 20 or 30 pound dumbbells and be the weakest guy in the gym. Otherwise, you're never going to get strong. So a lot of times, the inner judge it's two things. It is really the negativity and the voices in your head that are put there from other people who don't want you to achieve. That's one thing. But it's also fear. Fear of just putting yourself out there, laying your fucking head on the chopping block. Because what you'll learn, well, you might learn a couple things. One is you might put your words out there, your songs out there, and nobody will listen at all. And then that kind of tells you something. But another thing you're going to learn is you're going to get pushback. So you're going to figure out kind of what people want and what they don't want. And you have to have that back and forth. Who said this? I can't think of who said it. Maybe Mark Twain, maybe Schopenhauer. But they said life isn't a dance, it's more like a wrestling match, right? I write something, I get pushback, I push back. You kind of figure it out and you find that right balance between what do you want to do, what kind of art do you want to create, versus what do people want. And then you really do have standards, right? I really do have standards now, but when I started off, I didn't. I would just post anything, man, just to kind of figure things out. And now I have standards. For example, my Twitter and Danger and Play are two separate things. If I wanted Danger and Play to be bigger, I would make it more like my Twitter. But my Twitter, and my Twitter works. I've gotten noticed by people who never would have found Danger and Play. And I'm talking celebrities. I'm not going to tell you who's DM'd me or messaged me. Or there's a lot of fucking big-time people who are stealth readers now. They found me on my Twitter because my Twitter is just like a fucking ruckus. I just raise a fucking ruckus, but it's to get people to the real message, right? It's to get people to Danger and Play. It's to get people to Guerrilla Mindset. That's the whole point of my Twitter. But if I wanted Danger and Play to just be a fucking ruckus or to just be a drama blog, I could do it and I could grow, but I won't do that, right? Because that's where the pushback comes in. What do guys want? What am I going to give? What kind of art am I going to create? What kind of art will the market respond to? And that's the third point. You know how I hate Guerrilla Mindset? I have not read it since publishing it. I fucking hate it now. I can't even read it. You fall in love with your art and then you hate it because you spend so much time with it that you're just over it. So one of these days I'm going to have to actually read it in its final form, but I haven't read it. But because you feel anxiety and you feel angst, I was so nervous. You guys have I talked about a podcast. Yeah, you do. I was like I listened to binaural beats and shit, laying on my back. My body was exhausted as fat. Body heat was up. I felt like I was on a breakdown every day because it's really vulnerability. If you release a product, your sort of signature product, whatever it is, people buy it or they don't. You either get rejected or not, and that is hard. And that's another reason people are perfectionists, because you're afraid to get that market pushback, and it is terrifying. I was moody and fucking angry, and you come up with conspiracy theories that's like, these fucking guys are never gonna buy it. Can't believe you fucking right. Fuck, completely irrational. But your brain, that's why you have to use the Guerrilla Mindset talk techniques, and you have to get those binaural beats, and you have to learn how to relax, get massages or whatever. Your mind's gonna fuck with you because you really are laying it all out there, and you're gonna get accepted or not. But you got to let the market decide. You have to put your work out there. You have to put your work out there, and it's going to be accepted or it's going to be rejected. And that judge shit, you think that's the judge stopping you? That's fear. The terrifying fear of putting your best work out there and nobody cares. That's fear, man, but you got to overcome it. And the best way to overcome it is you got to, with fear, you always work in increments, right? I wrote that post today, basics. So fear is, if you're, a songwriter, you need to be playing music wherever you can. If there's a gig with 3 people, you play that gig with 3 people. When I had 3 readers, I treated them like the 3 most important people in the world, right? You got to just put it out there all the time. You're always moving, you're always hustling. And then you're going to get better, and then you're going to get that judgment, and you're going to kind of feel, okay, what do people want? What am I willing to give? What am I willing to compromise on? What am I not willing to compromise on? Some things now I'm just dialed in. I was one of my most popular posts. So my posts never go viral per se because the Twitter's kind of like the viral traffic, right? That universal stuff. But Danger and Play is a little bit too high level to ever go really viral. But I can go as close to being viral as possible, and that it gets a lot of shares, some high-level people. And I was riding on a moto. I was actually in Saigon. I was with Shauna. And I said, okay, I took a nootropic in the morning. We got on the moto, and I said, don't talk to me. I'm going to do a huge post. It's going to be my biggest post of the month. She's like, oh, because she knows when I get like this. She's like, oh, okay, just fine. And I did, and I knew it would. I'm just like, I'm plugged in. I know what the people want, and I know what I'm willing to give, and you find that magical overlap. On the other hand, I do a lot of stuff that I know people aren't going to like, or they're going to find tedious or boring. I like writing about the marketing stuff. There's not that many of you really care that much. But I still like to produce that kind of stuff. I think my marketing insights are universal. Not universal, I think they're novel. Because I read all that stuff, and I don't see people saying what I say, not as clearly as I say it. So I know most people don't want to do it, but I'm still going to do it. And I know more people would like Danger and Play if it were more like my Twitter, but no, my Twitter's my Twitter. Danger and Play is Danger and Play. These are completely separate things. So I'm not willing to give people on Danger and Play what they might want. So you find the overlap. What does your market want? Because ultimately, you're an artist, but you're a businessman, right? What I do at Danger and Play is art. I kind of do whatever I want, but it's still a business. It's still how I pay my bills. It's still how I make my money. So you got to be conscious of the market. What does the market want? What do people want? What are they going to read? What are they going to buy? Who is in that market? The only way you're going to find that out is you're producing and you get rejected. That's the market telling you, I won't even read you for free. I won't even listen to your music for free. I won't even read your best articles, the best that you think you have. You can put that on your website for free, and I'm not even going to read that. Well, then they sure as fuck aren't going to buy it, right? But you got to keep putting it out there, and then you find your message, and you get that pushback, and then you figure it out. And then you got to deal with the big fear of launching your own product, of doing what you think is your best musical CD, your best podcast, your best book, your best whatever, your best product, whatever it is. I don't know what your business is, and I don't have to. But eventually you got to do the launch, and then you think the inner judge is fucking with your head now. Wait until you're going to put out your magnum opus, and then see what happens. See what your brain is going to fucking melt down and turn against you. But it's all in the game, It's all in the game. If you're a creative person, remember too, you're also a business person. You have to release it to the market. Let the market decide. It's the same thing as how do you meet friends or meet girls or everything else. I may have written about this a long time ago. It's just stop rejecting yourself, right? You want to make other people reject you. Now, you don't want to be rejected in an annoying way, but give other people a chance, right? Write your music. Give people a chance to say they don't like it. If you let that judge stop you, you're not giving anyone a chance. So how much of that is ego and how much of that is fear? And how much of that is thinking you know better than the market? Maybe the market knows better than you. So why don't you give people a chance to say no to you? Why don't you give them a chance to reject your art? Maybe they'll say yeah, maybe they'll say yes, maybe they'll accept it. But until you make your move and until you take that chance, you're never going to find out. Is it fearful? Yeah. Is it scary? Yeah. Do you have some anxiety? Yeah. But read Gorilla Mindset and you can figure out how to cope with all that. Okay, that's it. You got any more questions about the inner judge, the superego, shame, anxiety? Ask it below, and I'm going to keep answering your questions, even if the video quality isn't what it should be, or even if my hair needs a haircut. All right, thanks for tuning in. If you've never seen me before, my name is Mike Cernovich from Gorilla Mindset and DangerandPlay.com, and I will see you soon.